Hello, sports fans. It's me, Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke. Got another video for you. Actually, this is going to be one in a series of 2 or 3 videos. And what I'm going to discuss today is the 25 worst players in the Hall of Fame. Now, this list appeared in Stadium Talk in an article by Paul Ladewski. And so this is his list. There is one person who isn't on this list who would be on my list. And that person, I will let you know who that is when we get to the end of the series, and we're doing players. I think 5 through 1. So anyway, there's 25 on this list. I'm going to do 10 in each video. So right now in this particular video, we're going to be doing numbers 25 to 16. And so let's get right into it and start with number 25, which is Luis Aparicio, shortstop for the Chicago White Sox. He played 18 seasons, and his typical year, or his statistics per 162 games, was a .262 batting average, 5 homers, 49 RBIs, and 32 stolen bases, with a 3.48 WAR, which is wins above replacement. And if you don't know what that is, I don't have the time to explain it in this video. But anyway, 3.48 WAR. And so these statistics are obviously underwhelming. Aparicio was a very good shortstop, and that's basically what the guy says is he played in an era where there weren't a lot of heavy hitting shortstops, and he was a glove man at short, a light hitting glove man, and so he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, I guess, on the strength of that, is basically what he's saying. Number 24 is George Kell, third baseman, played 15 seasons. His stats per 162 games were a .306 batting average, 7 homers, 79 RBIs, and a 3.37 WAR. And he was inducted into the Hall of Fame by the Veterans Committee. And he only hit as many as 10 home runs in one season during his career. So I guess the guy is saying that statistically he's not really on a par with many guys in the Hall of Fame, and that really these statistics are underwhelming. The .306 batting average isn't bad, but the other statistics do leave a little bit to be desired for a Hall of Famer. Number 23 is shortstop Nellie Fox, another White Sox player, and this is a common theme. There's a lot of White Sox players on this list, so I don't know really whether I should be upset about that or whether it's justified. But anyway, Nellie Fox, number 23, played 19 seasons. His stats per 162 games were a .288 batting average, 2 homers, 54 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. He had a 3.35 WAR, and he had 3 Gold Gloves and 15 All-Star appearances. Of course, the All-Star appearances are voted on by the fans, so for the most part, unless he was one that didn't get it voted in by the fans, and the baseball players or the manager of the American League team had to put him on. But basically, the fans vote for that, so that's not really necessarily an indicator that he should be in the Hall of Fame. And again, I leave that out to everybody here watching the video, everybody that finds out about the list. So anyway, number 22 is Red Ruffing, a pitcher who pitched for 22 seasons. Again, he was on the White Sox briefly, but his stats per 162 were a 16-13 record with a .380 earned run average, 254 innings pitched, and a 3.24 WAR. He had 6 World Series titles, and basically the guy that wrote the article said that it was more a matter of roughing being on teams that were really good and having good surrounding cast around him than it was anything he personally did. And really, I mean, I think he was on some Yankees teams too. So, I mean, a 16-13 record, I don't know. So anyway, number 21 is Freddie Lindstrom, a guy I never even heard of. And he was a third baseman. He played 13 seasons. His stats per 162 games were 311 batting average, 12 homers, 88 RBIs, and 9 stolen bases, and he had a 3.19 WAR. He had his 1,747 hits for a career is one of the lowest of any player in the Hall of Fame. So, and again, I mean, I never even heard of the guy, so I'm 100% on board with the dude not being in the Hall of Fame, or that he really shouldn't be there. Number 20 is a player that many of us saw playing as we were growing up, and that's Tony Perez, first baseman and third baseman, mainly for the Cincinnati Reds. He may have played for other teams, but definitely for the Big Red Machine. And his stats per 162 games are a 279 batting average, 22 homers, 96 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases. He had a 3.15 WAR and 2 World Series titles. And he, the guy, one comment that the guy who wrote the article said about him was that he was long on longevity and short on dominance, which I guess I would go along with. Although those statistics aren't bad. I mean, would you take a guy with a 279 batting average and 22 homers on your team? Probably. I mean, you wouldn't be crying about it. Number 19 is Epirixi, pitcher Epirixi, and he played back in the day. He pitched for 21 seasons. His statistics per 162 games were a 15-14 record, a 3.15 ERA, 245 innings pitched, and a 3.12 WAR. He had no World Series titles, and he was a 20-game loser twice. So, I guess that's basically the argument against. I don't know. The 3.15 ERA isn't too bad for an entire career, especially of 21 seasons. But, you know, again, I leave that for people out there to make comments on and think about. And number 18 is catcher Ray Schalk. As you know, or maybe you don't, but I'm going to let you know right now, he was also on the White Sox. And he was on the 1919 Black Sox. He was on one World Series champion, and that was in 1917. Although some argue 1919 should have been if the White Sox hadn't thrown that World Series. He played 18 seasons, and his statistics per 162 games were a 253 batting average, 1 home run, 55 RBIs, and 16 stolen bases. But he only had a career .316 slugging percentage. And I think he made the comment in the article, you know, what kind of catcher defensively do you have to be able to get into the Hall of Fame with a .316 slugging percentage? And, you know, it's an honest question. Number 17 is third baseman Pie Traynor. Played mostly for the Pirates, or maybe only for the Pirates. 17 seasons. His statistics per 162 games were a .320 batting average, 5 homers, 106 RBIs, and 13 stolen bases. He had a 3.02 WAR, and he only led the league in one offensive category ever, and that was triples, and it was only once. Now, I can see the argument that he Only led the league in one category, and that was only one time. Yeah, okay. But a 320 batting average and a 320 batting average and 106 RBIs. I think pretty much I would like a guy like that on my team, and I'm not so sure he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, as Paul Ladewski was saying. And then that brings us to the 16th and final guy that I'm going to discuss in this video, and that's Herb Pennock, pitcher. Again, mostly for the Yankees, may have been other teams, but you remember him for the Yankees. Played 22 seasons. His statistics per 162 games were a 16-11 record, a 360 earned run average, and 234 innings pitched. So that's 25 through 16. What do you guys think? Love to hear what you think. Is there anybody on this list you think maybe he was being a little harsh with that should be in the Hall of Fame? Like I think Pie Traynor really should be in the Hall of Fame based on his numbers. I think he was a little harsh with him. But let me know what you think in the comments section. And again, you know the drill. Leave me a subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I'll bring you stuff like this, and any suggestions, any comments, anything you want to say about it. Always willing to listen. But for right now, it's me, Sportsman Z, Bob Zuhlke, signing off.